Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video we're going through the Adelaide versus Richmond game, in which, shock horror, I actually got the tip wrong in this one. I think this is one of the first time, I think I'm like 10 out of 13 now for Thursday night footy in terms of picking the right result. I'm pretty good with that generally. But shock horror, Adelaide decide we're not going to play actual midfielders in the midfield, we're going to play them on the wing and half forward, and it doesn't work. Shock horror. Who'd have thought a guy averaging 30 touches in the midfield would be less efficient, out on the wing? I mean, he still racked it up on debut, but he wasn't efficient. And who would have thought that a guy in the backline a backman that you put down forward would miss shots because they are a backman? Who would have thought? So yeah, it was just so crazy. And who would have thought putting a defender in the midfield would work? No, it doesn't. Just play midfielders in the midfield role that you drafted them in. How hard is it? Adelaide are just a mess. Nix needs to go. The whole recruiting stuff and the whole staff there need to just get a whole clear out, because it was just terrible. Their whole strategy is off. And yeah, it just shows because they lost to Richmond, who have only beaten Sydney this year and lost every other game this year, aside from this one. And Adelaide just missed chance after chance. So anyway, before we jump into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into this recap. So Jordan Dawson, he actually was on about, I want to say 19 or 16 at quarter time, and then he just went off. And I was watching this because, 19 at quarter time, 49 in the second, 10 in the third, and then 46 in the last. He was pretty good. Had him in Supercoach and was watching him. He did get a little bit unlucky, I feel like, in Supercoach terms, with a lot of his ball in the second quarter not deemed contested when I believe it actually was. But he took a good couple of contested marks just to get the score up, and he ended up with like a 117 Supercoach, so it wasn't the greatest. But he did have some clangers in there, so that was the reason for that. Luke Nankervis at 111, he was pretty good in the back half with a 74. Front half was only a 37, but yeah, he was pretty good with the ball, and he's one of the players that will look good in the future. McElhaney, he did a lot of his work in the first half, just getting a lot of kick marks. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 marks in the first quarter there, I believe. So he was just getting it and taking mark after mark and kicking it back and forth. Shoal, 96, 27, 27, 24, 18. I thought he was pretty consistent. And so, yeah, he didn't really have much work to do, I believe. What was he, on one of the wings or halfback? He just did his role, to be honest. Rory Laird, 90. You would have thought that with Crouch going out that he would, and I think he did take up more of the midfield mantle. But yeah, 13, 26, 17, 34, 90 score. I don't think he's really going to be anything worth any value, especially now that he's probably going to be down at about 820k. So I wouldn't jump on him even post buy. Like, he was one of the guys that I was considering, but I think this one just puts a strike down for him. So unless he goes like 130 or something, then I'm really not going to consider it, considering this should have been an easy midfield to score against. Dowling, 89, he was really big in the last quarter. 41 here, he just got a lot of, and you just see it here with the way his scoring is. Mark, another mark here, another mark here, another mark here, a goal here off. I swear that goal was off. The goal he kicked was off. Was it in free play or something? But yeah, basically every maneuver he had here was from marks. I think he ended up with 8 marks or something. Let me just double check that. And yeah, he ended up with like 8 marks, 2 tackles, I want to say, or 7 marks and 2 tackles. And let me just double check. He ended up with, where is it here? 89, 9 marks, 2 tackles, 17 touches, and a goal. He did miss a goal late on, which was a pretty bad kick. I believe it was this one here, the 26-38 one. He did miss. That was a bad miss. Could have easily kicked the goal, and it would have gone within about a point or two with a minute and a half, 2 minutes ago, so it would have been close. But yeah, he was basically doing everything for them in the last quarter, and will make heaps of cash, have a really good break even. And I don't know whether you should be trading him in as a rookie, given that he has the round 15 bye. But he is going to be a really good rookie in round 14. And this is the problem I have about this now, is because we're going to start getting those rookies in round 12 that play. I don't expect, given the team sheets as well, this is recorded on the Friday before the extended benches drop, I don't expect Cleary to play. So I don't expect us to get any round 12 rookies. I thought Geordie Payne would play, but he isn't yet. Surprised about that. So I don't think we're going to get any clear round 12 rookies, which would suggest that Dowling is a good pick. I wonder if we get any rookies off round 13. That could be an interesting one, but off the round 13 buys next week in round 14. But I still think that Dowling will be a good pick because he's going to skyrocket towards 300k very, very quickly. And even though he has a buy in round 15, I still think he could be a really good sort of downgrade option, even if you're just downgrading a Closey or a Graham or anyone in the forward line, to be honest. Moving here, Fogarty 87, Borlas 80, Saligo 77. Saligo really, I think, is just showcasing to people that he's an impact player, and I think he's following a similar trajectory to the likes of Chad Warner a couple of years ago, where they do score all right, but they don't score game-breaking, top-of-the-line type of plays. And I think Saligo, when he really does develop into a full-time midfielder that is really, really quality, he'll be that sort of 102, 103 guy. I don't think he'll ever be that 110 guy. So I just think some people went a little bit early on Saligo. Hamill 75, I thought he was alright. Berry 74, he just went in spurts here, you'll see, 46 in the second, and then nothing basically outside of that. Richelli, I thought was really good. He definitely responded, and I think they just need to mould him into what Papley and Dylan Moore are, 20 to 30% around the ball, and the rest of that up forward. If he gets his hands on the pill early, he generally actually he gets into the game and can make an impact in a short space of time. So I think him on ball for just short periods of time is the best for them. But Smith, Hinge, Keane, Strachan injured on 60. So for those people that may have brought him in or in other form in Supercoach, etc., that was just a fail almost. Murphy Jones, Schoenberg, I don't know why he's a midfielder playing half forward and you expect him to do anything. Keys, Burgess, and then McHenry, and then we move over to Richmond Nankervis with Strachan out in the last quarter. He started to really dominate. I mean, the last 3 quarters he put on 103. So yeah, he really dominated Supercoach-wise as well, just a lot of hit-outs to advantage. Tim Taranto, 108, so he looks to be developing and could be one off the bye to look at because he's gone 120 for an extended period of time before. So if he is injury-free, he could be one to look at. Jaden Short, 106, I am not touching this because the next week he's going to pull out a 70 and you're all going to wonder, why didn't we see this coming? Liam Baker, another one I'm interested post-bye. I think just because this role that he has in the midfield, I think we sort of heard about it in preseason. We were all over it, and then he sort of lost it, and then sort of has regained it with all the injuries, and it's just sort of... So it's one to watch, I reckon, and I'm just going to be watching the injuries just to see how he goes, etc. with that midfield role, and to watch his role rather than the scoring, as I want to be confident that he has that role. Bolter, 97, he did a lot of his work first half, 69 first half, and then 28 second. Mansell, he was pretty good as well. What did he kick? 1. He only kicked 2 goals on the day, 2 goals, 1, I believe, but he was, pretty impactful. McIntosh as well, he was really big in the first quarter, but went silent after that, basically, but a lot of the non-disposal work from him. Rioli, 72, Miller, Bolton. Bolton, I thought, was one of the best players on the ground, even though he had a 64. Just because he won like 8 clearances and so many center clearances, it was crazy in the last quarter. Almost all of his disposals in the last quarter were center clearances. That's how good he was. Pressia injured again, so that may help Baker out. Graham 59, Brown was pretty good with his ball use, but then again just not involved enough. Broad, Vlosten, Dow, Sonsi subbed out of the game, and then Prestia pinged his hammy or something. Campbell, a long-range goal, but aside from that, didn't really do anything. Cumberland gave away one of the dumbest free kicks you'll ever see. Kaczynski kicked a goal, but that was about it. And then he's going to get a 2-game suspension for a rib shot, in my belief. That was just uncalled for. And Ralph Smith, Ryan, and then McAuliffe came on for 20 points in, 10 minutes or something. He was really good and impactful. But then again, that's his break even basically stuffed. So hopefully he actually comes back on comes back into the 22 with Prestia's injury. Hopefully that is the case, but I suspect he may stay as sub, and a couple games as sub can ruin him. So I'm glad that I definitely, with him being sub, put him as the emergency, and I will be taking Dowling's score out of those two's battle as 69 points. Well, it's probably going to end up being, it could even be the case of like 10 points or something different or whatever. Or is it 10 points? No, I think it's 29 points or whatever if you take a 60, I think. But I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I'm definitely taking down the score. It's higher, it's the obvious thing. But that is the video there. 10 minutes 40, so decent time. And yeah, just going through woeful Adelaide. I expect Knicks or something to change in the next little bit, as they're done. They're cooked. 4-1-8, I believe now. With another game against Sydney coming up next week. They could head into the bye 4-1-9 and effectively be season over, as they need to win their remaining 9 games just to make finals. So yeah, season probably over for Adelaide after high hopes, and they've looked good in sections of the year, but their midfield's way too slow. They're too slow transitioning it. No one wants to move. You wonder almost their fitness, to be honest with you, at that point. And yeah, their ruckman are just not modern ruckman anymore, and that's not the way that the AFL is. The AFL is that the ruckman has to be a fourth midfielder nowadays, basically. And yeah, that's basically the reason why Adelaide aren't good enough, is their midfield is way too slow. But anyway, that is the video, and I'll see you guys in the next recap, which will be the Friday night game. Who's even playing Friday night? Who's even playing tonight? It is Western Bulldogs versus Western Bulldogs versus Lions, not the Bulldogs themselves. But anyway, I'll see you guys in that recap then. Bye, guys.